This is for the Office of Management and Budget. I'm Councilor Green. I'm joined by Councilor Hogan, Council President Hudson, Councilor Allen, Councilor Peniagua, and I think that's it for the moment. So, Mr. Rudd, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Councilor Green. Well, I'm going to start with thank yous because the budget office is small but nimble and mighty. And the first person I want to thank is actually the former budget director, Mary Vossler, because she left me a great staff. So I want to thank my staff, Julie, Mary, Stacy, Teresa, and Sarah. Sarah's actually in procurement because the budget director is by default also the director of procurement. So you can also, I think, check off the division of purchase page in this hearing as well. But I haven't even been in the role 7 months, but we've got a lot done. We've got the capital plan done. We've got this budget in. We've gone up and down with budget cuts and restorations, and there'll be more talk of how to allocate ARPA money, and they've been great throughout all of it. And we are only budget's 337,000, and then there's less than 50,000 in procurement. So we're under 400,000 in total. One thing I would highlight, if you look at page 78 of the budget book, it has the number of positions. So one thing that we changed in this budget process is that we eliminated all unfunded headcount. So if you look just at, it's really easy to see for budget because last year there were 6 positions, and this year there's only 4. But in reality, nothing really changed. It's just that there were heads that didn't have any dollars. So this year, citywide, we've gotten rid of all the unfunded heads. So it kind of looks weird for the current year, but in the future, when you look, you'll actually be able to tell what positions are there, what positions are new, what positions actually went away, because there's citywide 160 fewer headcount that just never had dollars. So that's one positive thing that changed in the current budget process. The one goal I have for the upcoming year is just to be more thoughtful about the management part of budget. So the efficiency, like looking at data. So you have the activity indicators that are in the budget book. Those are all unchanged from what they have been. But hopefully 1 year from now, we'll have activity indicators that are more meaningful and used more regularly with department heads, because right now they don't necessarily reflect what the departments think they're producing or what their activity actually is. So, and they really only get used once a year for this purpose. So that's kind of the goal for next year. The unfunded heads got that done in this process. And then in general, there's been a centralizing of finance functions, including budget, financial and budget functions. So definitely all my staff has direct responsibilities to a department. So, and then some departments have had their own budget staff, and that is becoming more centralized. So DPW always had a bunch of people who were budget people within DPW. Those positions have basically gone away, and my staff now does more of that direct budgeting. And then those people often did other financial functions too, so a lot of those functions have been centralized under Brad. And yeah, I didn't get through my thank you list actually, so definitely thank my staff. And then I was going to thank the clerk and the auditor, because they always give me straight talk advice, which I appreciate and need. And then I would just thank Frank, who I actually really like working for, and Brad, who I really like working with as the CFO, and thank the mayor for making me his budget director to help shepherd us all through this project. So I appreciate him taking a chance on me in this role. Yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, I just want to continue to moving toward a budget office that's really focused on building solutions. So a lot of the time, the budget office has been a blockade for a change, where we're really good at saying, no, you can't do that. And I totally reserve the right to say no on many things, but I definitely want to be able to provide solutions to people, including on things like sidewalk program. So we've definitely been involved trying to make financial solutions to our problems. And as part of that, we have to have the relationship. So I appreciate the relationship I have with all the finance committee and all the counselors. So always feel free to reach out, and I will do my best to give you straight answers. With that, I'll open it for any questions.
Questions from the counselors?
Well, the only thing I got to say is I like to thank the mayor for making you budget director too, Tim. You know, I've been around, as everybody knows, a long time, and a lot of times I've run into budget directors who have not, and I'm not saying this, they've shown duplicity because of fear, and I think you're sort of fearless. And I know you'll always give us a straight answer, and you make our jobs a lot easier because you always will give us a straight answer. That, and I appreciate. In fact, I appreciate the whole financial team that works your upper echelon, Brad and Frank, and your budget. So I mean, I don't have any issues right now about the budget. You presented us and you briefed us, but I appreciate your efforts there. That's all I got. Thank you very much, Councilor.
Thank you, Councilor.
So I just have one thing, I guess, going back to the activity indicators, and this is a very broad observation, and I don't have an exact answer how to fix it, but I do think for most of us that have been doing this a couple of years, people really kind of phone in the activity indicators. That seems kind of obvious, and it also seems really clear that there's not a direct relation. It's, as a counselor evaluating the budget, it's hard to see a direct relationship into, if we were to put more resources in this department, how it would directly correlate to improved performance. And oftentimes it may not, right? So I don't have a perfect answer for that, and I haven't given that a lot of thought, but to the extent that there's a clearer way to qualitatively or quantitatively show the impact of how budget dollars impact service to constituents or to the city, I think that's a long-term project that may be valuable. And I think it has to be coming from budget, because I don't know who else would really spearhead something like that, but just an observation.
Well, I definitely think there's a need to connect the dollars to performance data. So it probably requires more partnership between management and budget and API, because the dollars by themselves are not complete without the data, and the data without the dollars is also incomplete. And that's where I think like API will throw around terms like OKRs, and the departments will say, oh yeah, OKRs, we've worked on that. And then the OKRs are not the activity indicators. So there's probably a need to have some kind of agreement on what the actual performance indicators are. And then, yeah, actually connecting it to how it connects to dollars. Because if you get more of this, would you actually get more of this thing, or would you get less? Or there's a need for that relationship to be strengthened, I guess.
Other questions? Okay. All right, well, I think we can close it out then. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.